a service of CNC Worldwide.
CNC podcasts are a service of CNC Worldwide and brought to you by the Greece Chamber of Commerce, providing more than 800 member companies with business solutions since 1984. Federal prosecutors say a series of raids on homes in Greece and Rochester, plus a Charlotte tavern, all related to illegal sports gambling operations. The U.S. Attorney's Office says a federal grand jury indicted 3 men on 23 counts of running an illegal gambling business and money laundering. Paul Borelli of Rochester, Joseph Ruff of Greece, and Mark Ruff of Connecticut were all arrested. Police and the FBI seized more than $80,000 in the raids. The gambling operation used a number of offshore-based websites, and payoffs were often made through the Marina Tavern in Charlotte. The federal government is still looking at a Rochester area site as a possible place to house some of the undocumented children crossing over from Mexico. Congressman Chris Collins' office says it's learned the Department of Health and Human Services will inspect the former Walmart at 4848 Lake Road in Brockport for use as a temporary dorm. Earlier this week, HHS decided the Lexington Commerce Center in Greece wouldn't work for housing children, took that site off the list. Congressman Collins says it's unacceptable for the federal government to force New York taxpayers to foot the bill for housing illegal immigrants. Town of Sweden officials say the former big box store isn't zoned for residential use and probably is not a very good place for a dormitory. A jury has found a Rochester man guilty of murder and of manslaughter in the death of his 9-month-old son. Maurice Faison of Rochester was watching Tristan Faison last September while the child's mother was working. She came home to find her son unresponsive. The medical examiner's office found he died of a blow to the head. Faison will be sentenced July 24th. Wilmerite has announced the name of its proposed resort casino development in Seneca County. They're calling it Lago. That's from the Italian for lake, in honor of the Finger Lakes and its wineries. Wilmerite Chairman Thomas Wilmot says he is partnering with Peninsula Pacific on the $425 million development. Peninsula will have a 50% share, and its affiliate, JNB Gaming, will serve as the casino operator. That's assuming, of course, that the project gets one of those 4 casino licenses the state will be awarding this year. A decision is expected by October 1st. The coalition of Republicans and Democrats, which has controlled the New York State Senate the past 4 years, apparently it's a short-timer. IDC head Senator Jeff Klein and Governor Cuomo issued a joint statement Wednesday evening saying they will work together for a new all-Democratic Senate leadership after the November elections. Klein says the bipartisan coalition served the state well. It delivered on-time budgets, marriage equality, and tough gun control laws. But he says there's more progressive legislation like the DREAM Act and the minimum wage increase that Republicans won't support. Republican leader Dean Skelos issued a statement saying the bipartisan coalition has done well for New York. He said Governor Cuomo is throwing that away to cater to the Working Families Party and its high-tax agenda. The Natural Resources Defense Council has released its annual rating of the nation's beaches. It finds Ontario Beach Park in Rochester is once again one of the most frequently closed beaches in America. The NRDC Testing the Waters report compiles the water quality data that all public swimming beaches have to take every day during the season. If bacteria levels and runoff are too high, then local health department officials have to close the beach. 40% of those samples taken at Ontario Beach in Charlotte last year tested too high. That makes it one of 17 American beaches NRDC identifies as having significant problems. A short distance away, Durand-Eastman Beach failed just 21% of the time. Some researchers think agricultural and street stormwater runoff into the Genesee River account for a lot of the local beach closings. A car went into the front of Rochester School 36 Wednesday night, the driver apparently confusing the accelerator with the brake. Police say a 37-year-old city man was turning from Carter Street onto St. Jacob Street when he hit the accelerator by mistake and ran into the school building. There was no structural damage, nobody was hurt, and no tickets were written. The Ontario County Sheriff's Office says they're still trying to contact family members of the couple killed Tuesday night when a severe storm dropped a massive tree limb on top of their car. Sheriff Phil Pavaro says the man and woman in their 20s were from out of state. Your next CNC podcast is whenever you click on one of these pages and catch one. We post updates as necessary, and I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.